Okay, so what it is, customer's Jeep. It's a 2008 Jeep Wrangler, 4-liter Sport, with this oddball squeaking sound. This coming from the front end. That's the best I can describe it. And I knew it was coming from the front end because this has a NP231 transfer case that you can shift on the fly, and because the front tires do not unlock, they're always spinning. Everything's spinning. The front drive shaft is always spinning when you're going down the road. The differential does not unlock. When I was testing it, when I was test driving it, there was snow on the ground. I was on a side street, and I could go along and I could put the brakes on and cause the front tires to slide as I was traveling, and the noise would instantly stop. So I knew it was something in the front end, and I could also tell that the frequency was at drive shaft speed as opposed to tire speed. It was chirping like a bird. And there's other videos on YouTube about this where people have had a hard time diagnosing this problem. So I'm going to show you what it is. And the other thing was, when I put it in four-wheel drive, which then forces both the front and back drive shaft to turn together, the noise changed. It got less aggressive. It chirped less. And when I started going around a tight bend, it got quiet. When I started loading them drive shafts up, going around a bend on just wet concrete, not snow, wet concrete. So there's a lot of torque on everything when you're doing that. The noise basically disappeared. So I got thinking about that. I said, okay, I brought it in the shop. Then the next thing I did, I brought it in the shop, and I had my helper in the truck up on the hoist, and I ran the vehicle, had him put the right amount of throttle on it to where the noise was loud, and then I went around it with a stethoscope, and it was coming from right here, this area of the transfer case. And I said, okay, it's a bearing. It's a bearing in the transfer case. So, but actually, it's not a bearing. What happened was the bearing got loose. The bearing is spinning the outer race of the bearing. I don't know if you can see that, if the video's picking it up, but the outer race of the bearing is spinning in the case. Bad. Just bad. I mean, then there's no fixing it. So the squeaking was the metal outer race on the aluminum housing. So this thing is shot. There's really, I mean, outside of machining this and putting a bushing in here, which is something doable, you're not gonna fix this case. It's done. So I just bought another case. I bought another transfer case, and I made sure that this bearing was okay. I drove it out. I took to get that bearing out, I had to use a punch to drive it out, so I know it's not loose in the case. And I will replace this bearing with a new bearing also. I've got a new one here somewhere, but anyway, so that's the deal. So I'm going to take all the guts out of the original transfer case, which we know is good. It's got a slip yoke eliminator kit on there, which is something I had put on a while ago. So I'll transfer all this stuff over to the good used case. And so if y'all have a NP231 that's chirping and it's coming out of the housing there, that's the problem. So a reason I'm making this video is I did a little Google searching on this, and YouTube videos popped up where people had gone through all the pain of replacing the bearings and buying a rebuilt kit and putting it all back together. Same problem. I felt bad for them. I'm reading these comments and they didn't know what was wrong. So I'm telling you what's wrong. If you got one that's making this noise, that's what's going on. Anyway, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you all have a great night.